Kunle, you said you needed 5 million naira to start your business. I gave it to you. Then you said your car was giving you problems, and I bought you another one. What else do you want from me? Zainab asked. Kunle looked at her and smiled. Zainab, you know I love you. I just need another 3 million naira. There is an investment my friend introduced me to. Once I put the money there, I will make everything back. Okay, I'll send it to you. But 2 months later, Kunle stopped answering Zainab's calls. Months later, another man came into Zainab's life. His name was Ibrahim. Unlike Kunle, Ibrahim appeared quiet, respectful, and caring. Not long after, Ibrahim came to her with a problem. My love, I am ashamed to tell you this. What happened? My business is about to collapse. I need 8 million naira. But forget it, I shouldn't be asking you for money. Zainab quickly replied, No, Ibrahim, if we are going to become husband and wife, your problem is my problem. Are you sure? Yes. She gave him the money. But just like Kunle, Ibrahim suddenly changed. Zainab cried for days. But then came Abdullahi. Abdullahi seemed different from the others. He refused expensive gifts like first. Whenever Zainab offered him money, he would say, Keep your money. I can take care of myself. For the first time, Zainab thought she had finally found a good man. Until one evening, Abdullahi came to her looking worried. Zainab, my mother is very sick. Oh my God, what happened? The doctor said she needs treatment immediately. I don't know where I will get the money. How much? 12 million naira. Zainab didn't hesitate. Send me your account number. Abdullahi stared at her. You would do that for my mother? Of course, I love you. Zainab sent him the money. A few weeks later, Abdullahi disappeared. Before I continue this story, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Zainab's decision just to find a man who will truly love her? Do you think she is making the right decision? Comment your thoughts below. Please like and share this video and let me know which part of the world you are watching from. I always love seeing where our amazing viewers are watching from. Zainab Adebayo was a beautiful young woman who lived with her parents in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. She was the only child of Mr. Suleiman Adebayo and Mrs. Miriam Adebayo, one of the wealthiest families in the city. Her parents owned a large oil company and several factories in Nigeria. Their businesses had also expanded to the United Kingdom, the United States, and Canada. The Adebayo family had everything money could buy: beautiful houses, expensive cars, successful businesses, and workers who attended to almost everything they needed. Being their only child, Zainab never lacked anything. But there was one thing money could not buy for her: true love. Zainab was beautiful, educated, and kind-hearted, but she had suffered greatly in relationships. Most men who came into her life seemed interested in her family's wealth rather than in her. Her first serious relationship was with Kunle. When Zainab first met Kunle, she believed she had finally found the right man. Kunle was handsome, funny, and knew exactly how to make her smile. My beautiful Zainab, Kunle would say, one day you will become my wife. Are you serious? Zainab would ask, laughing. Of course, why would I joke about something like that? Zainab believed him. A few months into their relationship, Kunle started asking for money.
One afternoon, he came to see her looking worried. "Zainab, I have a problem." "What happened?" "I want to start a business, but I don't have enough capital." "How much do you need?" Kunle hesitated. "About 5 million naira." Zainab loved him, so she gave him the money. Not long after that, Kunle complained about his old car. "My car embarrassed me again today," he said. "What's wrong with it?" "Everything. I am tired of repairing it." Zainab surprised him with another car. Kunle hugged him happily. "You are the best woman in the world." But his requests did not stop. He later asked for another 3 million naira for an investment. Zainab gave him that money too, because Kunle kept promising to marry her. Then suddenly Kunle changed. He stopped visiting. His calls became shorter. Sometimes Zainab would call him 10 times without getting an answer. One evening, she finally confronted him over the phone. "Kunle, what is happening to you?" "Nothing." "Don't tell me nothing. You hardly speak to me anymore." Kunle became silent. Then he said, "Zainab, I think we should end this relationship." Zainab froze. "What? After everything we have been through?" "I'm sorry." "What about all the promises you made?" "People change, Zainab." "And the money, the car, everything I gave you?" Kunle sighed. "You gave those things willingly. I never forced you." Before Zainab could answer, he ended the call. She cried that night. But after some months, she decided to give love another chance. That was when Ibrahim came into her life. Ibrahim appeared completely different from Kunle. He was calm and respectful. He told Zainab repeatedly that her family's money meant nothing to him. "I would love you even if you had nothing," Ibrahim told her one evening. Zainab smiled. "That is what Kunle made me believe too." "I am not Kunle. Promise me." Ibrahim looked directly into her eyes. "I promise." Zainab believed him. Several months later, Ibrahim came to her looking worried. "My business is in trouble," he said. "What happened?" "If I don't get money soon, I could lose everything." "How much?" 8 million naira. Zainab remembered what happened with Kunle and hesitated. Ibrahim noticed. "Forget it," he said. "I shouldn't have told you." "No, Ibrahim. I don't want you thinking I'm with you because of money." Those words convinced her. She transferred the 8 million naira. For some weeks, everything remained normal. Then Ibrahim started behaving strangely. He stopped visiting regularly. His calls reduced. Zainab became worried. One Saturday afternoon, her phone rang. It was one of her friends. "Zainab, please don't panic." "Why would I panic?" "Have you checked your messages?" "No." "Check what I just sent you." Zainab opened the message. Her body became cold. It was a wedding picture, and the groom was Ibrahim. No. She enlarged the photograph. There was no mistake. Ibrahim was standing beside another woman, smiling happily in beautiful traditional wedding clothes. She immediately called him. He answered after several attempts. "Ibrahim, what am I seeing?" "Ibrahim, you married..." "Please, let me explain." "Explain what? You told me you wanted to marry me." "Things changed." "And my 8 million naira?" Ibrahim became silent. "Ibrahim, I'm sorry." He ended the call. Zainab dropped her phone and cried. Once again, a man she trusted had taken her money and left her. After that experience, Zainab promised herself that she would become more careful. Then she met Abdullahi. At first, Abdullahi appeared to be everything she had been searching for. When Zainab tried to buy him an expensive wristwatch, he refused. "No, Zainab." "Why?" "I can buy my own things." She stared at him in surprise. "You don't want it?" "No, keep your money." For the first time in a long while, Zainab felt safe. She thought, maybe this one is different. Their relationship grew stronger. Then one evening, Abdullahi arrived looking devastated. My mother is sick. Zainab immediately became concerned. What happened to her? The doctor said she needs urgent treatment. How much? Abdullahi looked away. 12 million naira. Without thinking twice, Zainab helped him. But a few weeks later, Abdullahi disappeared. His phone was switched off. His apartment was empty. Zainab searched desperately until she finally discovered the painful truth. Abdullahi's mother was not sick. The entire story was a lie. He only wanted her money. That night, Zainab returned to her parents' mansion crying. Mrs. Miriam rushed towards her. Zainab, what happened? Mommy, I'm tired. Her father came into the room. What happened this time? Zainab looked at both of them. Every man I meet wants something from me. Kunle took my money. Ibrahim took my money and married someone else. Abdullahi lied about his mother just to collect 12 million naira from me. Her mother held her tightly. My daughter, I just want someone to love me, Mommy. Mr. Suleiman looked at her daughter for a long moment. Then he said quietly, Zainab, these men don't see you. She looked at him. What do you mean, Daddy? They see my company. They see our houses. They see your cars. They know you are the only child, so they know everything we own will eventually belong to you. Zainab became silent. Her father continued. They are not falling in love with Zainab. They are falling in love with what Zainab has. Those words followed her upstairs. That night, Zainab stood alone inside her enormous bedroom and stared into the mirror. She looked at her expensive dress, her gold necklace, her designer handbags, her expensive phone. Then an idea entered her mind. What if the next man doesn't know? She whispered. She slowly removed her earrings. What if he thinks I am poor? She removed her necklace. No cars, no expensive clothes, no family name, no money. For the first time that night, Zainab smiled. If he still loves me when he thinks I have nothing, then I will know he truly loves me. The next morning, Zainab went downstairs. Her parents were having breakfast. Daddy, Mommy, they looked at her. I have made a decision. What decision? Mrs. Miriam asked. Zainab took a deep breath. I want to leave Ilorin for a while. Her father frowned. Where are you going? To a small town outside the city. For what? Zainab looked directly at her father. I am going there to live like a poor woman. Mrs. Miriam almost dropped her cup. What? I don't want anyone there to know who I am. I will rent a small room, wear ordinary clothes, and live like someone who has nothing. Zainab, you are my only child, her father protested. Daddy, please, I need to know if someone can love me without knowing about your money. Her parents were worried, but Zainab had already made her mind. A few days later, she packed only simple clothes into a small bag. She left her luxury car behind. She left her jewelry behind. She left the comfortable life she had known since childhood. And for the first time, billionaire heiress Zainab Adebayo Agu entered a small town outside Ilorin, looking like an ordinary young woman with almost nothing. Nobody there knew who she was. Nobody knew about her father's company.
And nobody knew that underneath those simple clothes was the only daughter of one of the wealthiest families in Ilorin. As Zainab walked through the unfamiliar town carrying her small bag, she had no idea that the decision she had just made was about to change her life forever. Life in this small town was completely different from everything Zainab had known. Instead of waking up in a large air-conditioned bedroom, she now woke up inside a small rented room with a simple bed, one plastic chair, and a tiny kitchen corner. There were no housemaids, no driver, no security guards, and nobody called her Madam Zainab.
To everyone around her, she was simply Zainab, a young woman who had moved from Ilorin looking for a better life. Zainab even bought simple second-hand clothes and stopped wearing jewelry. Whenever anyone asked about her family, she would smile and say, "My family doesn't have much. I am trying to survive on my own." One morning, Zainab went to the local market to buy tomatoes, pepper, rice, and a few other things. As she returned home, one of the nylon bags suddenly tore. "Oh no!" Zainab quickly bent down. Tomatoes rolled across the dusty road. One tomato rolled toward the feet of a young man walking nearby. He stopped it with his sandal. "Madam, your tomato is trying to run away," he joked. Zainab looked up. The young man smiled. His name was Habib. He was a hardworking young man who lived in the same town. He was not rich. He wore simple clothes and lived a modest life, but people respected him because he was honest and hardworking. Habib bent down and began helping Zainab pick up the tomatoes. "You don't have to help me," Zainab said. "Should I leave you here chasing tomatoes around the whole town?" Zainab laughed. "No." "Then let me help." After gathering everything, Habib noticed that her bag was damaged. "Where are you going?" "Home." "Is it far?" "Not really." "Give me this." Habib carried the heavier bag. Immediately, Zainab protested. "No, I can carry it." "I know you can, but I am already going in that direction." They walked together. When they reached Zainab's small room, Habib placed the bag near her door. "Thank you." "You're welcome." Zainab waited. Habib remained silent. She was confused. Usually, when men helped her in Ilorin, they quickly tried to collect her phone number or impress her. But Habib simply turned to leave. "Wait!" He looked back. "Yes? You didn't ask my name." Habib smiled. "You didn't ask mine either." Zainab laughed. "My name is Zainab." "Habib." That was how their friendship began. Over the following weeks, they continued seeing each other. Sometimes Habib would greet her while passing. Other times, they would sit outside and talk in the evening. One evening, Habib asked, "Why did you leave Ilorin?" Zainab hesitated. She couldn't tell him the truth. "Life became difficult," she replied. "I wanted somewhere cheaper to live." Habib nodded. "So you are here alone?" "Yes." "What about your parents?" "They don't have much." Habib looked sympathetic. Life can be difficult. Zainab studied his face carefully. There was no excitement when she told him she was poor, no disappointment either. He simply continued talking to her normally. That surprised her. As the weeks passed, Zainab decided to test him. One afternoon, she sat outside looking worried when Habib arrived. "Zainab, what's wrong?" "Nothing." "You don't look like someone who has nothing wrong." She sighed. "My rent will soon expire." "How much are you owing?" Zainab told him. Habib became quiet. He was not a wealthy man, and Zainab knew that. "I don't want your money," she quickly added. "I didn't say you wanted it." "I will find a solution." Habib nodded. But 2 days later, her landlord came. "Zainab, your rent." "Sir, please give me a little more time. You promised me last week." "I know, I am sorry." Suddenly, Habib appeared. "How much does she owe?" Zainab turned around. "Habib, no." The landlord told him. Habib reached into his pocket. He did not have the full amount. "Sir, take this first. I will bring the remaining balance." After the landlord left, Zainab stared at him. "Why did you do that?" "Because you needed help." "But you don't have much yourself." Habib smiled. "Having little doesn't mean you cannot help someone who has less." Those words touched Zainab deeply. For the first time, the situation had been reversed. Kunle had always taken from her. Ibrahim had taken from her. Abdullahi had taken from her. All 3 men had known about her wealth. All 3 had promised love. And all 3 had eventually asked for money. But the man sitting beside her believed she had nothing, and he still wanted her. A few months passed. Habib's love for Zainab became stronger. One afternoon, Habib arrived at her room wearing his best kaftan. Zainab laughed when she saw him. "Where are you going dressed like this?" "To see you. You see me almost every day. Today is different." Habib sat down. Then he looked at her seriously. "Zainab, I don't have a big house." She became quiet. "I don't have millions in my account," he continued. "Habib, let me finish." She nodded. "But I can promise you that I will work hard, I will respect you, and as long as God gives me strength, I will never deliberately allow you to go hungry." Zainab's eyes filled with tears. Habib reached into his pocket and brought out a small ring. "Zainab, will you marry me?" She covered her mouth. For years, Zainab had dreamed of hearing those words, but now that the moment had finally arrived, another thought entered her mind. Habib did not know who she really was. He didn't know that the woman sitting before him was a billionaire's only daughter. He didn't know about the mansion in Ilorin. He didn't know about the factories. He didn't know about the oil company. He didn't know about the family's businesses abroad. And now he wanted to marry her. "Zainab," he asked, "will you marry me?" Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Yes." Habib's face brightened. "Yes, yes, Habib, I will marry you." He slipped the simple ring onto her finger. That night, however, Zainab could not sleep. She stared at the ring again and again. Habib had passed her test, but now Zainab had another problem. She could not marry him while continuing to lie about her identity. The following morning, Zainab called her father. "Daddy." Mr. Suleiman immediately recognized her voice. "My daughter, are you all right?" "Yes, Daddy." "Do you want to come home?" Zainab smiled. "Soon." There was silence. Then her father asked, "Did something happen?" "Yes." "What?" Zainab looked at the small ring on her finger. "I found someone." Mr. Suleiman's voice became serious. "Does he know who you are?" "No." "Does he know who I am?" "No." "Does he know about the company?" "No." "Then what does he think?" "He thinks I am poor." Mr. Suleiman became silent. "And he still wants you?" Zainab smiled. "Daddy, he asked me to marry me." Her father could hardly believe it. "Bring him to Ilorin." Zainab's smile disappeared. "What?" "Bring him home." "But Daddy, if this man truly loves you when he thinks you have nothing, then it is time for him to discover the woman he wants to marry." Zainab ended the call and looked at Habib's ring again. Her heart began pounding. She had spent months pretending to be poor. Habib trusted her. Habib loved her. And now she had to tell him that almost everything he believed about her life was a lie. But Zainab had no idea how Habib would react when he discovered that the poor woman he wanted to marry was actually the only daughter of billionaire businessman Mr. Suleiman Adebayo. The next morning, Zainab sat outside her small room waiting for Habib. When he arrived, he immediately noticed that something was wrong. "Zainab, you look worried." "I need to tell you something." Habib sat beside her. "What happened?" Zainab looked at him nervously. "Habib, before we get married, there is someone I want you to meet." "Who?" "My parents." Habib smiled. "Finally, I have been waiting for you to say that." But Zainab did not smile. "Habib, there are things about my family that I haven't told you." His smile slowly disappeared. "What things?" Zainab swallowed. "I think it is better if you see everything yourself." Habib became confused, but he agreed. 2 days later, they traveled to Ilorin. Throughout the journey, Zainab was unusually quiet. "Are you sure you're okay?" Habib asked. "Yes." "You have been acting strange since yesterday." "Please, Habib, just trust me." When they entered Ilorin, Habib expected them to stop somewhere in an ordinary neighborhood. Instead, Zainab directed the driver toward one of the wealthy areas of the city. Habib looked through the window. Zainab, are we lost? No. The car continued until it stopped before a massive gate. 2 security guards approached. The moment they saw Zainab, their faces brightened. Welcome home, Madam Zainab. Habib slowly turned toward her. Madam? Zainab remained silent. The huge gate opened. Their car drove into an enormous compound. Habib stared through the window in disbelief. Luxury cars were parked outside. The mansion before him was bigger than anything he had imagined. Zainab, she looked at him. What is this place? My home. Habib thought she was joking. Your home? Yes. The car stopped. Before Habib could ask another question, the front door opened. Mr. Suleiman Adebayo and Mrs. Miriam Adebayo came outside. My daughter, Mrs. Miriam cried happily. She rushed forward and hugged Zainab. Mr. Suleiman smiled. Welcome home. Habib stood frozen. Then Mr. Suleiman turned toward him. So, you must be Habib. Habib looked from him to Zainab. You know me? Mr. Suleiman laughed. My daughter has told us a lot about you. Habib's confusion grew. They entered the mansion. Everything Habib saw shocked him. Marble floors, huge chandeliers, expensive paintings, beautiful furniture, workers moving around the house. Finally, Habib stopped walking. Zainab, she turned. Please, tell me what is happening. Zainab took a deep breath. Habib, my father is Mr. Suleiman Adebayo. Habib stared at her. The businessman? Yes. The oil company. My family owns it. Habib's mouth fell open. Zainab continued. My parents also own factories and other businesses. Some of our businesses operate outside Nigeria, including in the UK, America, and Canada. Habib slowly sat down. He could not believe what he was hearing. So, you are rich? Zainab nodded. My family is very wealthy. Habib looked at her simple clothes. Then he looked around the enormous mansion. But you told me your family had nothing. I know. You told me you were struggling. I know. You allowed me to pay part of your rent. Zainab lowered her head. I am sorry. Habib stood up. So everything was a test? Zainab's eyes filled with tears. Please, let me explain. Explain what? She told him everything. She told him about Kunle, how he collected millions from her and accepted a car before dumping her. She told him about Ibrahim, how he collected 8 million naira and secretly married another woman. She told him about Abdullahi, how he lied that his mother was sick just to collect 12 million naira. By the time Zainab finished, tears were running down her cheeks. I need time. Zainab's heart sank. Zainab, Habib, I love you, Zainab, but you lied to me for months. He walked toward the door. Zainab began crying. Mrs. Miriam wanted to stop him, but Mr. Suleiman raised his hand. Let him go. Zainab turned toward her father. Daddy, if his love is genuine, he needs to make his own decision. Habib left. 3 days passed. He did not call. Zainab barely ate. On the 4th day, she told her mother, maybe I've lost him. Mrs. Miriam held her hand. Give him time. That evening, The security guard called from the gate. "Madam, someone is here asking for Zainab." Zainab's heart jumped. She ran outside. Habib was standing near the gate. He wore the same simple cream kaftan she remembered from the small town. "Habib!" She stopped before him. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Then Habib said, "I was angry. I understand. I still don't like that you lied to me. I understand that too. But I also thought about why you did it." Zainab remained silent. Habib continued, "Those men hurt you. They made you believe that your money was the only thing a man could love about you." Tears entered Zainab's eyes. Habib smiled slightly. "I fell in love with the woman who chased tomatoes across the road." Zainab laughed through her tears. "I fell in love with the woman who lived in that tiny room." He stepped closer. "And whether that woman has 10 naira or 10 billion naira, she is still Zainab." Zainab began crying. "Does that mean—" Habib reached into his pocket. He brought out the same simple ring. "I asked you a question before I knew about this mansion." He looked toward the huge house. "Before I knew about the cars." Then he looked back at her. "And before I knew your father's name." Habib held out the ring. "My question hasn't changed." Zainab covered her mouth. "Will you still marry me?" "Yes." She hugged him tightly. From the doorway, Mr. Suleiman and Mrs. Miriam watched happily. Months later, Habib and Zainab got married in Ilorin. Their wedding was beautiful, but Zainab refused to make wealth the center of their marriage. Habib also refused to become lazy simply because he had married a wealthy family. One morning after their wedding, Mr. Suleiman called him into his office. "Habib, sit down." Habib sat. Mr. Suleiman smiled. "You are my daughter's husband now. One day, much of what I have built will become your responsibility alongside Zainab." Habib nodded respectfully. "But I want to work for whatever responsibility you give me," Habib replied. Mr. Suleiman raised an eyebrow. "You don't want me to simply give you money?" "No, sir." "Why?" Habib smiled proudly. "Because I didn't marry Zainab to become rich. I married her because I love her." Mr. Suleiman smiled proudly. "You truly are different." Over time, Habib learned the family business and worked alongside Zainab. He never stopped treating her the same kindness he had shown when he believed she was poor. And Zainab never forgot the small town where she finally discovered what money had prevented her from seeing. Years later, she sometimes joked with Habib about their first meeting. "You remember my tomatoes?" Habib would laugh. "How could I forget? If that bag had not torn, maybe I wouldn't have met my billionaire wife." Zainab laughed. "So you should thank the tomatoes." "No," Habib replied. "I thank God." Then he looked at her. "Because the greatest thing your father owned was never the company." "What was it?" Habib smiled. "You." Zainab rested her head against him. After years of heartbreak, she finally understood something important. Money could attract people. Beauty could attract people. A famous family name could attract people. But none of those things could guarantee genuine love. Kunle saw her money. Ibrahim saw her money. Abdullahi saw her money. But when Habib met Zainab, he saw a woman carrying a broken bag of tomatoes. He thought she was poor. He thought she had nothing to offer him except herself. And he chose her anyway. That was how the beautiful billionaire's daughter, who pretended to be poor, finally found the one thing all her family's money could never buy for her: true love. If you enjoyed this story, please comment your thoughts below. Do you think Zainab was right to pretend to be poor just to find true love? And what would you have done if you were Habib after discovering the truth? Please like and share this video and tell me which part of the world you are watching from. I would love to see how far our African stories are reaching.